All right. Well, listen, those of you that are with us this morning, thank you for taking a few minutes to update from and learn about one of our new programs, which I hope will be beneficial to you and your team at the local level. I've got some updates on some events and programming I want to walk through you first, and then Morgan's going to give you an update on the Smart Insurance Plan, and then introduce you to Blake and Tracy with Unified Standards, and kind of talk you through that new program and the benefits to your members that we've got this morning. So I know I've gotten a lot of outreach from you guys about our town halls and roundtables that we just restarted after the 4th of July break. I just want to give you an update. In the next 2 weeks, we'll have town halls and roundtables with Governor Kemp, with the financial services industry, with universities, university presidents to talk about reopening, and we're working on a college sports program as well. I heard from a few of you the last couple of days asking if you could take our program and rebroadcast. It's out there. It's available to you. You can just reach out to anybody on our team. You can take that. Feel free to reuse it at the local level. We want to, it's out on our YouTube channels, on our website, but if you need it in a different format, you can just reach out to Morgan or Lisa or any of us, and we'll get that to you. Likewise, a few of you are on our Recovery and Resiliency Task Force. We're having regular programs there as well that might be beneficial to some of your programs at home. So again, if you want to use that content or you would like to join those calls, just let Morgan know. We'd love to plug you in there. Daniela runs several meetings every week to that effect. And so any of the data information that we have there, we want to push out and share with you as well. Likewise, we continue to update our gachamber.com/COVID-19 website. We do have graphics out there for the We're All In effort. You're more than welcome to use any of that. We update that basically as soon as we hear anything from Congress, the governor, the CDC. Lisa uploads and that programming there. And again, please take it. Please put your logo on it. Do with it whatever you please. Let's see. So upcoming events for the Georgia Chamber. I think most of you have seen by now. Unfortunately, we are moving our congressional lunch into a virtual event, as April and our friend and Yvonne know. We were going to have it in person, then we weren't, then we were, then we weren't. And so at the end of the day, we made the decision that it was more prudent for the safety of our employees and our members to do that virtually. It is August 11th. We do have confirmed Senator Perdue. Senator Perdue will have a special guest from the White House or from the cabinet. We'll be having interviews with Congressman Ferguson and David Scott as well. All of it will be based around recovery and resiliency, so it'll be really pertinent, up-to-date information. We'll also be having a tribute to Congressman John Lewis as well. So those are virtual tickets now that are available, and they're available on our website. I know a lot of you guys have already got the tickets for your own organization. I've heard some of you saying you were bringing actually people into the office, small groups to watch that together. I think that's a great idea. Anything that you need from us, please let us know. But that event will be August 11th. Virtual tickets are available now. I've also had a few of you call me about Washington Fly-In, and I hate to inform you that much like our other programmings, that will be a virtual event as well. We're still working with members of Congress on the exact schedule that they've got in DC. It will be in September. It will probably be about a 3-hour program. We'll have a pollster to talk about the latest in national polls, and then obviously hear from members of Congress. The interesting thing about that timing, it'll be right before they break for the election. But our hope is that they've already passed the 4th or 5th version of the CARES Act. But I think it'll be a very robust session with a lot of news coming out of that 1 month. And so we'll get you that information is probably within about a week for that date, and you'll be able to lock that down at that time. The last thing I want to mention to you, and again, I've talked to several of you this week, one of the things I love most about this job are our regional meetings, getting out around the state, spending time with you guys, being out there for our big regional meetings or just for your chamber events and programs. I'm off the road for lots of other stuff, which gives me some more time to get back on the road in the fall for you guys if you start having in-person meetings. And so I want to offer to you we're willing to do virtual meetings with you, or we're willing to do in-person meetings if you've got them like us to come in and do programming. I'm a brave boy. I was in Cherokee County yesterday for a great event with about 100 folks, and we've been in Columbus with Gerald's announcement. So we know how to do it right. We are offering 3 programs right now if you think that these are beneficial for you or your membership. One I'm actually doing with Skip in August down in Statesboro, which is on equality. You know, we're doing our monthly town hall meetings on how you have that difficult discussion about race and equality locally. And I'm more than willing. I know most of you want to do those. Those are tough to do. I think we've got a way to do them and do them well. And so we can do them with your folks, or we can bring in speakers to have that discussion as well. So that's one, and it's available to you. Number 2 is the recovery and resiliency overview. I did some of that at Jekyll, but I've done it for Tammy and a couple of the rest of others of you out there. Happy to do that program as well. We've got the template built. We can update it as the numbers come through. And then the third one is a political update. Obviously, we've got lots of open races. We've got the 2 most watched Senate races in the country. We're getting literally about weekly polling update numbers from our friends at the U.S. Chamber and from other partners. And so we do have data we can share with you there. I think that's more of a chairman's club, small group type of briefing, because I know a lot of you don't want to get into the politics of it. If you do have races locally, congressional or state Senate, state House, where you do have open races, if we've endorsed somebody and you want to do an endorsement together and me talk about that endorsement, we can. If you just want to talk about me to come in and talk about the national picture, we can give you details on this North Carolina race, the Arizona race, the Maine race. We're tracking all of those together with the U.S. Chamber. So those are the 3 programs. More than willing. Several of you have reached out, like I said, in the last couple of days. So if you would like us to do something with you in person or virtually, just shoot me or Morgan or Kathy an email here in the next couple of weeks, because we'll start booking up pretty quickly there. But we do want to get out and help you any way we can with your programming. So a lot going on virtually, a little bit of getting it back out there. I did have a couple of you ask about live person events for the Georgia Chamber. We did our first live person event with our golf tournament. It was highly successful. We sold it out. We actually added another golf tournament. We're selling it out, and we've got a 3rd golf tournament in the year. So the golf clubs are willing to work with you to do those. And I know a couple of you have started that process, but other than that, most of our programming is virtual. But again, we're willing to come out and do it. And then lastly, I'll mention that the Chamber Tomorrow plan, where Morgan and I can come in and facilitate your board retreats. We are happy to do that for you virtually or in person. You know, if you social distance, I know you're usually do those in the fall, late fall, early winter. We can do those. Everything's built. We're ready to go with those. We can pull your numbers and statistics just like we've done Fayette County and Vidalia and Albany and lots of other places. And if you're interested in that and us helping you with your tactical or strategic plan or just facilitating your retreat, again, just reach out to Morgan and let us know. So with that, kind of the crux of today is really for Morgan to kind of give you an update and introduce Mary Claire to you from our SMART plan and our new program in trying to help battle back against COVID-19 unified standard. So Morgan, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all well. Appreciate you taking some time, as Chris has said. We had a couple of programs that we wanted to bring you up to speed on and give you some additional details, and then make sure you knew about those resources. The first thing I wanted to do is I wanted you to meet Mary Claire Ney. Mary Claire has been with the Georgia Chamber for 4 years, I believe, in a handful of different roles, but she has been, is now on my team working with all of our non-dues revenue programs, as well as she has some oversight on a handful of our councils. And so Mary Claire's portfolio includes the SMART plan. It includes the new Unified Standards program that we're doing. Mary Claire, what else is on your portfolio there of non-dues revenue?
Yeah, so the Certificates of Origin program, our HR resource library, and then the UPS and Staples discounts. So all of our investor benefits fall under me. So if y'all have any questions about those.
So I just wanted you guys to be able to see Mary Claire, get a chance to meet her, at least virtually here. She's very, very responsive for any questions that you have, again, related to those programs, and is kind of your main point of contact, especially on the SMART program. So she really is digging in on that and helping us understand that and be able to promote that program. Speaking of the SMART program, it really does continue to grow at a, quite frankly, at an incredible pace for a program like this insurance program. For those that have participated, thank you. For those that have not yet engaged with us on that program, it is a health insurance program through Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that really is targeted towards small businesses from 2 to 50 folks that will participate in the program. Currently, there are a handful of chambers that have really got a ton of participants, and Mary Claire pulled these numbers for me. So the Cobb County Chamber, Sharon's team, they've got about 180 folks that are participating in the program, and those are actually the members, and then they would have the individuals that are covered. So Cobb is about 180. Gwinnett, our friends over there with Nick Messino, they've got about 150 of their members. David Bradley, if he's on here, good morning to you, sir. The Athens Chamber has got about 125 members participating. Over in Columbus, they have 96, and then Callie and her crew at the Greater North Fulton Chamber have got right at 90 members that are participating. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you so you might get a sense of the folks that can participate. I will tell you that we have heard from a number of our smaller chambers that are participating in the program, and they are seeing members join to gain access to this health insurance. And so it is a membership benefit that you're able to offer as long as you're a part of our federation, which all of you are. You're able to offer this benefit. For those customers that that are currently enrolled in the program, Anthem has offered a rebate for against some of their program, the insurance charges, the premiums that is coming back on their. They're getting a rebate back on their account against some of those future premiums. So trying to make sure that we're doing all the right things with the program. Mary Claire, is there anything you want to add that would be helpful for the local chambers relative to SMART?
Yeah, I'll just mention that we're currently working with Anthem to get y'all some new marketing materials. You should all have access to that Dropbox where everything is currently held. If not, let me know and I'm happy to share that with you. And then we're also collecting some testimonials to include in those pieces. So if you do have a testimonial for us, just send that to me and I'll make sure that we get that included as well. So just be on the lookout for some new marketing materials.
Yeah, we're really excited that Anthem is continuing to help us with that. So these are things that you can co-brand with us. You can put your chamber logos on there with ours and with Anthem and share that out with your members. For those of you that have not yet really dug in on the program, Mary Claire and I are doing some research to kind of identify those chambers that have not participated. We're actually going to reach out and try to do a almost like a webinar for you guys to kind of walk through the program in a little bit more detail, give you some background, kind of unpack the program and make sure you have what you need there in hopes that you find an additional benefit for your members. So more to come on that. If you got questions, Mary Claire is your best point of contact there. You can reach Mary Claire at her email, which is mnay, N-A-Y, at gachamber.com. So we'll make sure you've got all that, and we'll send that out as a follow-up as part of this after this morning's program. So with that, I want to transition over to our newest program that we're working on, and we're excited to have Tracy and Blake from, I got to make sure I say it right, the Levy Studios, not Levy Studios, but the Levy Studios. These are some good friends of ours from Albany, and they are members of our chamber. They're strong partners for Barbara and her team. I believe Barbara's on here, so good morning to you. But these guys are a terrific production studio. They do all kinds of really cool video content, social media content, but they also have a division that handles workforce training modules. And so, Blake, I'm going to kind of hand it to you and Tracy and let you kind of explain the creative process behind Unified Standards and how you got started with it and kind of what it is. And then we'll walk through a few questions for our chamber execs that are here with us this morning. So guys, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Well, good morning. Thank y'all so much for your time. We just wanted to come together to introduce this program in the collaboration with the Georgia Chamber and all you guys locally. Blake and I both know what it means to be small business and what it means to have such a good partner as the local chambers and the state level chamber help to lead the way. And one of the opportunities here that I think Unified Standards is, and I'll throw back to Blake here in a little bit, but to be a part of this is exciting for us because we know this is a weird and crazy time, unprecedented. And this training will, and we've seen it working in our community, and as it moves out to other parts of the state and other parts of the country, Unified Standards is truly an exciting tool that you, as the local executives, can bring forth to your members as a way for them to get back to work and bring their workers and their customers back in a safer manner, and to instill that consumer confidence that we all know is so important. I know the spikes are coming back. I know that the levels are changing every day, and that makes a shaky economy. And what we need as small business people is to come together and do stuff like this. So to stop preaching to the choir, because I know you guys know that, what Unified Standards is a division of the Levy Studios. So a very fast background of who we are. We started as a production company making awesome commercials for our clients who loved what they did, but we then started, they then started needing a way to market it. So as we progressed and evolved through production to marketing, we also realized that training is and was very important. So this product has been in development for 3 years. And as COVID struck, and we saw Albany being in the top of some of the worst numbers around, we looked to our friends and said, hey, we can use this training to help you. And so we started in the restaurant sector. And again, and Blake can expound upon this here in a minute as we show you some of the components of the platform itself. But they're seeing success, meaning they're putting a seal in their window that said we're partners in COVID training. And so when Chris and Morgan and all of us met a few months back, they were excited to bring this to you, as we all are, because this is a way to move forward. And I know there's several different things that we could cover here, but to make best use of your time, I'd like, if Blake can, who is the CEO of our organization. So he is just going to kind of go through some of the specifics there, and then we'll be available to help answer questions.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Thanks, Morgan, Chris, Mary Claire. We're really excited about this program. It's something, like Tracy said, we've seen help out our community. And basically what we're doing is taking the governor's guidelines. For those of you who haven't seen the call with Dr. Toomey, we're taking the governor's guidelines and Department of Health guidelines and making video-based training on an individual level. We've created it now in 17 sectors, and that includes education, healthcare, grocery stores. You'll be able to see more if you visit unifiedstandards.com. You'll be able to see all those sectors that we offer. But for example, like Tracy said, we started in restaurants here in our community, and those restaurants will log in to the platform. They'll get a unique code that they can share with their team members. And, you know, the name Unified Standards is pretty intentional. You know, we want everyone to be unified on what these guidelines are. And our mission is twofold. Number one is to create a safer environment for our workers, for our customers, and also to create consumer confidence, which we need so much right now. You know, we've kind of had some ebbs and flows in our community, and I know we have across the state. I do think that we can reopen, and we can reopen safely. And I think this is a fantastic product that can help us to do that. Again, like Tracy said, there's a seal that you can put in your window that is certifiable. It's backed by Unified Standards and the Georgia Chamber of Commerce. But I love this idea of being able to produce this content that we can share throughout the community to let people know that, hey, we're going through this program and we're doing what it takes to be safe. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the product. So when you get this unique code from the purchase portal, you'll be sent to a dashboard. Hopefully you can see this dashboard here. And my name is not Megan. My name is Blake. And so when you log on, you'll see this dashboard, but it opens up to all of these sectors here. There's two ways to purchase this, and I want to be clear on this, that the ways that this program can be purchased is, number one, that individual businesses can go to unifiedstandards.com. They can purchase this course as a business owner, as a manager, and you can purchase however many seats that you would like, and it would produce that many codes for your team. As a chamber member, you do get a 30% discount on the program, which I think is very important. So this is open and available right now to be able to purchase. And also, in the last couple of weeks, we have discovered that this is eligible for CARES Act dollars. And this is what I really wanted to speak to the chamber, the local chambers about, is that this is a great way to get together with your municipalities there. I want to give an example for our community, where Barbara Holmes is the president CEO of the Albany Area Chamber of Commerce. And so what we did is we approached Barbara about this program, and she got together with the county and the city. So in most communities, if you're not familiar with the CARES Act and how they're allocating funds, most communities have distributed funds to counties and cities for CARES Act dollars. And it's very explicit in the CARES Act that those funds can be utilized for training of your community concerning COVID-19 issues. And so Barbara got with our city and county, and they purchased these seats. So I think they purchased 4,000 or 5,000 seats in our community. And we have been sending restaurant workers, retail workers through this program, and it's been extremely successful. And I will say, I do want to say that as they go through and as these restaurants really promote that they've gone through this, we've seen, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback from these industries that, you know, people are starting to trust their workers, the people that have gone through the program itself. And that's been exciting news to us. So you can see that we've produced these courses here in all 17 sectors in both English and Spanish. But you go in and let's say that you're a movie theater. You own a movie theater there locally. You can go in and you click and you see this course. It's just a pretty standard LMS, and you can go through. It's force ordered. It takes about 20 minutes to go through the program. It doesn't take long. And there is a short quiz just to make sure that you paid attention there along the way. But there's a couple of things I wanted to mention about the program as well. Is number one is that when you complete this program, it opens up to a social media toolkit. Say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we've done to go through this program, and this is what the program means. And so that kind of helps to build that consumer confidence along the way. There's a seal that you can print out as well to put into your the window at your location. And also there's a certificate that you'll receive to say that you've completed this course. And that's important for a couple of reasons, but really this certificate can follow you as an individual. So you'll have access to this dashboard for 12 months when you sign up and into the program. So if you worked at one movie theater, you would be able to print the certificate out and show this to the next owner that you've gone through this COVID-19 training, which I think is really awesome, and it's been very successful again in our community. Another thing that we're doing to be able to provide this information to business owners, it's been extremely helpful because the governor's guidelines in our state and really all the states in the U.S., they continue to evolve and change. And as these governor guidelines, these Department of Health guidelines change, we change the platform as well. So we nudge the learner that, hey, there's a new course that's available to you. For example, I think we're in the 4th iteration of the guidelines in our state. And so every time those change, we change those in the platform and create a new course. I gave an example on the last call that we were on, that Tracy and I went to a restaurant, and they were still practicing the 10 people per 500 square feet. So Tracy and I are going in, the owners and managers are sending people away out of these restaurants, right? And so Tracy and I approached the owner of the business, said, are you aware that this is not a current guideline? And he had no idea. The owner of the restaurant had no idea that that was a current guideline. And that's another thing that we're doing here is we're taking the weight off of the owners and the managers to be able to train these workers on the current guidelines. You know, it's almost impossible to keep up with them, much less to train every single employee of an organization and keep them updated on what those are. And so what we're able to do is produce all of these guidelines, and really it's just, hey, go to the dashboard, go through the course, and you will have the updated version of what those guidelines are.
So Blake and Tracy, this product that we've created, that you guys have created, and when you approached us at the Georgia Chamber, we started kind of discussing through how best to promote this and the benefit that was out there. Really, what really captured Chris's attention was the consumer confidence side of it, A, and then also B, the connection back to the Department of Health and the governor's standards and the CDC. Can you kind of walk through how that process works, and then how those, you know, as the connections you've got with the Department of Health and how those are all kind of almost essentially verified as those changes come down from the government?
Yes, so we have been able to connect with the Department of Health along the way. They've been a fantastic resource to us. So the Department of Health works together with the state, obviously, to develop these guidelines. And as we produce these, we're able to send those to the Department of Health and verify from them that, hey, yes, this is what we meant by those written guidelines. I don't know if y'all have seen those guidelines, but number one, they're very intentional, and they're actually very effective guidelines, we believe. And it's more than the 4 things, wash your hands, sanitize. I mean, it's pretty detailed inside of each one of these sectors. But we have been able to work with Dr. Toomey's office to produce these in video format, and they're giving us the thumbs up. Tracy can talk a little bit more about that, and he's been able to produce these, send them to Dr. Toomey's office, and they're verifying that, hey, yes, this is what we meant by the guidelines that we've produced.
One of the most important things is to be able to tell the story that your people are actually going through this. And so our relationship with Dr. Toomey's office, as the things change, you could go through the old sectors and never have the most updated stuff. So that is the most important thing, that we are in lockstep. Our team is in lockstep with the Department of Public Health and the governor's office. They came down and visited and actually saw the program and the people that put it together, and pledged their support to continue to offer, their oversight and their help there. And so that's a very important step, because it is the governor's guidelines. It is the Department of Public Health's guidelines. It's just presented in a way that is more palatable in a 20-minute video that is way easier to show a frontline worker that can watch this on their phone. They get certified, and then you can put your sticker in the door. It's a lot more confidence and a lot more bang for the buck there in the same training that is in the video format. So that's why that particular relationship with Dr. Toomey's office is paramount, and we're excited to have it.
I think that's something that really just strengthens the overall power of the program. And again, drives back to consumer confidence when you're able to point to this training modules are taken directly from Department of Public Health, CDC, and Governor Kemp's executive orders. I think that really makes that a much more powerful piece. Now, as new, you've talked about the fact that as new updates come online, your system seamlessly incorporates those. Those that have taken the courses get a little gentle reminder to, hey, check in and update your understanding that we're not doing 6 feet spacing, we're down to 5, or whatever it is. Can you also, if we have interest, I know we've got 15, 16, 17 different industry sectors. If we have interest, can we add other sectors? Can you kind of walk through how that would work?
We actually have added, with the guidance from the CDC, taking the CDC's guidelines on several generic reopening, here's how to disinfect, because those only add value to the consumer who's using the training. We just completed K through 12 as Dr. Woods released his guidelines, and I know that is a moving target all the time, but as Dr. Woods created the 3-step or 3-scenario process, our team was able to, again, as Blake mentioned, some of these guidelines are so deep in trying to go through the 10-point font text on a piece of paper. It actually makes it a little more real to have someone sitting looking at you and explaining how the guidelines work. Again, it's no more, no less than what the CDC or the Department of Public Health are releasing. It's just a more palatable, better way. We're also working on houses of worship, which is very important. The Georgia Department of Health and the governor's guidelines did not specifically go for house of worship in a deeper text as they did for the other 17 sectors. So we did reach out and start working with the CDC on a house of worship suite. So that is actually the 18th sector as you look at it. But again, those are continuing to build. And you're right, as local communities see a deeper level, they can take this training and add on it. Of course, that would be something that we could help at the local level create, and that training could exist together. So to answer your question, yes, the training can be customized beyond what is already there.
I think that's part of what, again, just really is making this an ever evolving and improving program. Blake, you look like you're going to jump in there with us.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Tracy said. I mean, we're working right now, like he said, Superintendent Woods came out with their guidelines, which I think are fantastic. And some are going to the phase 1, some are going to the phase 2 in our state. And that's being determined on a local level, but we are able to tailor this, to take those guidelines and tailor it to each community. And we're beginning to do that in our state as of this week. So, for example, Dougherty County has, different guidelines than say Gwinnett County. And so we're able to take these guidelines and make video-based versions tailored to each one, where they can send their faculty and staff through those guidelines, because you can imagine how important it is that everyone is on the same page. Again, Unified Standards is very intentional on their name. There's so much information concerning COVID-19 that's out there, and we really wanted to create a one-stop shop for these places. I wanted to mention too, Morgan, that it's not only important that we do these guidelines and we go through these courses to maintain safety, but we're getting reports back of businesses being fined, right, because they are not following the current guidelines. And it's starting to get serious. We knew this was going to happen. I think there was a lot of leniency over the last 2 months to say, hey, we understand these are crazy times, but we're getting reports back as of the last couple of weeks of businesses actually getting fined now because they are not compliant with the current guidelines that are mandated. And those are the guidelines that we're producing inside of this portal. Also, one more layer that we've added here is reporting back to the communities or back to the business owners. So you can actually know in real time who has or has not gone through the current guidelines at any specific time.
I think, and that's something again that the manager is able to understand. He or she can then, approach those employees that need to finish up. And you also have that transferability, which you talked about. If someone leaves R.Lee Durham's shoe shop in Warner Robins and goes over to work, at a different establishment. So I'm going to ask one more question, and then Lisa on our team has actually enabled all of our audience members. If you would like to ask a question, you can unmute yourselves, and we will attempt to do this and let you guys ask a couple of questions. But first, before we do that, I know we talked for a second about the CARES Act, and Chris and I and Blake and Tracy have had some conversations around how that could possibly work. Certainly there could be a partnership between the chamber and the development authority, or the chamber and the city council or the county commission, as to how you might deploy these seats in the training. I'd love to hear a little bit more, and I believe Barbara's on the call. If you guys want to take a second and kind of explain how that worked, and give some of our partners on here an idea of how the local chamber can what we can do to help.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Good morning,
Yes.
Barbara.
Good morning. Glad to see all of you. And yeah, I'm glad to talk about what we're doing with the program. And first want to thank Blake and Tracy, who I'm proud are my chamber members, who have, of course, developed this in great partnership with our friends at Georgia Chamber. And the magic of the program, as we've talked about, is the fact that Albany was a global hotspot for COVID. Returning to consumer confidence so our businesses could reopen and the public could engage was our primary goal. And through this program, we've been able to do just that. Working with our governmental partners was really a no-brainer, because they're reliant on our businesses to succeed. And so partners to enable the training, to take it and be able to provide this to our initially local restaurants, it really just, it made sense, and they were fully on board. And now we're excited that we have the restaurant training going to be able to continue with this through the other business sectors. So again, we can continue to instill that consumer confidence, get our people safely re-engaging in commerce, and become COVID-19 safety certified. And so we're working with Blake and Tracy, of course, and our other partners in developing very strong marketing components around the program and the training and the value. So we're excited that we've all been able to partner on this. And certainly I'm proud to have Blake on my board at the chamber, to work with Blake and Tracy on numerous other initiatives pre and post COVID. But I can tell you that this works and has absolutely been phenomenal for our businesses. I was spending a lot of time on the phone with the governor's office and others trying to decipher the guidelines for our businesses. And this really takes that piece out of it and just gets the training right to our workforce. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Barbara. I wanted to mention too, Morgan, that the CARES funds have only been they've been allocated, they have only been distributed to the largest municipalities. And those funds are coming soon. I want to mention too that there's a couple of phases. Phase 1 will be a 30% allocation. And that has to be spent currently, as the rule states. Those funds have to be spent by September 1st, and the 100% allocation has to be spent by December 30th, and it has to be COVID-related expenses, and that could be anything from training to PPE. There's a few things that are listed there, and there's more clarity that's coming on board with that this week from GEMA and a few other organizations. But training definitely fits the bill here to train your community as to how to have a safer community concerning COVID-19.
That's a solid example there. Hey, Cindy Jones, I think you have actually virtually raised your hand. So if you want to unmute yourself, we will we'll let you jump in here.
Good morning, Morgan. I quickly, while they were talking, went to the website and looked, and I see the price for a business. So say they didn't go through the the chamber or a municipality as a group, but a business individually wanted to do this, but yet they're a member of our chamber. So how then do they tell you through the process? You said there's a 30% discount if they're a chamber member. Is that if they're a local chamber member? So we can promote it that way or go through the municipality.
That's right. Blake, can you kind of walk through how that, kind of the practicality of the behind the scenes there?
We have a lot of people who want to go through the program now, regardless of what the CARES Act is doing. We had a company that approached us that has a large, I think it's like a kind of a statewide mechanic type shop. And they had a lot of employees that came down with COVID, and they were like, we don't, we let them know, hey, this could be available in your community for CARES dollars. They were like, we don't care. We want to send our people through now. So through that, you're able to go in as a business owner, and I will make that available, and Morgan can send that link to you guys so you can go straight to that purchase portal. But you're able to purchase that, and like you said, as a chamber member, you get a 30% discount. And for large industries also, we're offering tiered pricing, where that pricing could even come down even more if you had 250, 500 employees and beyond, which we're getting a lot of people wanting to do that. I wanted to mention too, Cindy, on that note, like, how does this work? Like, how do I get these cities or the counties involved on this? So what we're doing initially is asking for a 5% allocation, right? So we're asking you to purchase 5% of whatever your total allocation was. So for example, you would take that number that was allocated. I think Dougherty County and Albany combined got about $4.5 million. Well, that would open up about 5,000 to 6,000 seats for this program at a 5% allocation. And a lot of these counties and cities that you'll find, they don't really know what to do with this money. They haven't gone through the CARES Act. We've got a great legal team who've gone through all this stuff. I'm not an attorney, but I play one on Zoom. So, I think that a lot of people are waiting for guidance, but it's extremely clear in the CARES Act that this needs to be allocated for training, or at least that's a part of it. And again, we're asking for a 5% allocation. That's how we've approached these communities to go back, and that will open up those seats. And to just get a little more detail on that as well, when you get that program started in your community, we will send your county and city a individual unique link that they can send out to their workers inside of that community. And that's where we're asking for the chamber's help to be able to distribute that link inside of your community as those are purchased. But yes, it is available right now for businesses to go through and to purchase these seats individually.
And Cindy, basically, if you use our web portal for a local chamber member or a Georgia chamber member, they get the discount. You just have to, there's a code, go through our website. Mary Claire and Morgan can help you get that code. But yeah, that's the bottom line, is as long as they're a member of the local chamber, they get access to that discount, and you're part of the federation. That's our whole effort here. So you've got something extra to sell to your members, is this 30% discount at the end of the day. So again, just send them our way.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, Blake, and I'd love to share this with our members, but I also want to take it to our city county managers and pitch this to them. And if I'm not able to convince them, I can connect them directly to you and let you do a briefing with them, maybe show them what it's like, or do I go to another county that has been successful and try to get them to connect?
Great question. So what we're doing right now, Cindy, is having demos. So I will, we'll do a follow-up email with some resources. I've got a one-pager that we've made available to you guys specifically to say, all right, how does this thing work and how can I get involved? Perfect. And we'll make that available to you, and we'll send that out. And then, yes, we are doing demos to these counties, and it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes. but it is important for them to actually see the platform and how it works and why it's important. I wouldn't want to purchase something that I didn't see first, right? So Cindy, you can definitely connect them together with us, one of our team members. Be glad to do a demo anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cindy. Anybody else got a question? Like I said, now that we figured out how to raise our hands, that's pretty slick. Thank you, Cindy, for being brave and using that. Any other questions from our audience this morning? Well, if you come up with something as you see the additional materials, if something does come up, feel free to reach out to myself or to Mary Claire, and we can track down responses and questions and things of that nature. We are also working with Blake and Tracy on the Hispanic side of things. So as you saw, the programs are all available in both English and Spanish. But we are working with our partners at the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Latin American Association, to help promote those in Spanish as well. And so we're looking at having marketing materials in addition to the actual content be in both languages. So I'm excited to share that across there. So if you don't have any more questions, I think the bottom line is we are very, very excited about this partnership with Blake and Tracy at Unified Standards. I think the consumer confidence side of this is so critical to keeping our economy going and restarting some of that and alleviating some of the confusion. I know, Blake, you guys mentioned the visit to the restaurant that wasn't aware of the latest standards. I know I've been in retail establishments where some folks made you wear a mask, some did not. I literally had one store that asked me to sign a legal waiver to come into their establishment, basically saying, we're not making people wear masks. We can't keep you 6 feet apart. Anybody can come in, but you've got to sign this supposed legal waiver in order to even come in and shop. So I know folks are trying to do the best they can, but I think taking advantage of something like Unified Standards to really clearly understand and that clearly articulates what these standards are that folks are expected to comply, I think is really, really powerful. So with that, thank you, Blake. Thank you, Tracy, for being with us this morning. If any of our friends across the state have questions, again, Mary Claire and I are available to help you with that. And Chris, as he mentioned, we will be getting out some information about opportunities for us to come to your community this fall, either virtually or in person. We may actually send you a little quick survey and kind of take a pulse and see what you're thinking there as far as your interest in having some of these programs. So with that, we wish you guys a wonderful morning. Hope everybody stays safe. And remember, mask up, Georgia. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thank you all.